Fans and loved ones are mourning the loss of Philly rapper and influencer Mia Bennett, also known as Petty Levels. The news shared in an Instagram post by her record label, Chosen One Records. According to reports, Bennett was 23 years old and loved by many, 1 million followers on Instagram, and she had just posted this picture 1 week ago. Her cause of death hasn't been released just yet. We reached out to law enforcement and her family for more information.
Fleeting, that was the last word Mia Bennett ever shared with her million-plus followers. A single, haunting caption beneath photos of her smiling, drinking wine, wearing a white dress. Just 48 hours later, on July 19, 2024, police responded to a call near Tampa International Airport. There they discovered the body of the 23-year-old Instagram star and rapper known as Petty Levels. No explanation, no obvious cause, no warning signs, just gone. How does someone with over 1 million followers, music collaborations with major artists, and a life documented through adventure and success simply vanish? What brought her to that specific location near an airport in Florida? And why did she choose that final prophetic word, fleeting? As if somehow knowing her time was running out, welcome to our channel, where we examine the cases that don't add up. If you ever followed Petty Levels or her music, drop a comments below. Her story deserves to be told. Mia Arma Bennett was born on October 13, 2000, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The city of brotherly love would shape her identity, her music, and ultimately the persona that would catapult her to social media stardom. Growing up in Philly's vibrant culture, Mia absorbed the city's rich musical heritage, a place that had produced legends from Patti LaBelle to The Roots to Meek Mill. But Mia's path to fame began in the hallways of her high school, not in recording studios. As a freshman, she created an Instagram account with a name that would eventually become her brand, Petty Levels. In a 2019 interview, she explained the origin of this distinctive moniker. In 9th grade, "That's when I first came up with Petty Levels, and the whole Instagram came along," she said, laughing. "I love getting a rise out of people. I started putting that in rap videos, and girls who felt the same way, they took it and ran with it."
In 9th grade, that's when I first came up with Petty Levels, and the whole Instagram came along, but only like people around school and like from different hoods, because I used to school hop, so like I was in different hoods all the time, so like people around, like they started to follow me, this, that, and the third. But once I started really popping, like making videos and stuff, that's when I had people from all over, like all different types of cities actually start following me.
What began as an inside joke quickly resonated with other young women. Her early content focused on relatable teenage experiences, often with a humorous, unapologetic edge. She'd post short videos taking playful jabs at relationships, particularly at the expense of men who had done her or her friends wrong. This authenticity struck a chord. "At first, my followers were mostly from Philly," Mia once explained. "But once I started doing pop-up shows and producing more videos, my fan base grew to places all over, like all different kinds of cities." Her content strategy evolved naturally. Unlike many influencers who carefully planned every post, Mia's approach felt raw and spontaneous. She documented her life as it happened, dancing in her bedroom one day, trying new restaurants the next. This genuine quality made followers feel like they were simply hanging out with a friend. By 2018, approximately 2 years after establishing her social media presence, Mia had amassed hundreds of thousands of followers. But she wanted more than Instagram fame. With her platform growing, she began creating short rap videos that showcased her natural flow and clever wordplay. "I found my persona. I found what they love," she said, demonstrating her understanding of her audience and brand. With the support of her mother, who recognized her daughter's talent early on, Mia began transitioning from social media personality to legitimate recording artist. Her musical versatility became evident quickly. She could rap over melancholic beats one day and playful tunes the next. In one memorable video, she even rapped over a beat reminiscent of The Lion Sleeps Tonight, showing her willingness to experiment with different sounds and styles. The music industry started to take notice. Her breakthrough came in 2020 when she featured alongside established rapper Lotto on Fredo Bang's track Freak. This collaboration introduced her to a wider audience beyond her social media followers, Music critics noted her confident delivery and authentic voice, qualities that can't be manufactured. Following this feature, Mia released her own singles, including Malibu and Ain't It. Her music video for Dat Ass accumulated over 4 million views on YouTube, proving she could translate social media popularity into musical success. She was signed to Chosen One Records, a label that saw her potential to break into mainstream hip-hop. But music was just one dimension of Mia's multifaceted life. Her Instagram feed revealed someone who embraced adventure at every turn. She documented trips to Mexico, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and other exotic locations. Unlike many influencers who simply posed at tourist spots, Mia immersed herself in experiences. She went skydiving, showcasing her fearlessness as she jumped from planes with a wide smile. She tried surfing in Hawaii, snowboarding in Colorado, and other adrenaline-pumping activities that painted the picture of someone who lived life to its fullest. These weren't carefully staged photo ops, they were genuine glimpses into the life of a young woman determined to experience everything the world had to offer. In mid-2020, she posted behind-the-scenes photos with rapper 30 Deep Grimea, hinting at more collaborations to come. Her social circle expanded to include other musicians and influencers, placing her at the intersection of social media fame and musical credibility, a sweet spot few managed to occupy. Despite her growing success, Mia remained connected to her roots. In June 2019, she shared a photo with her brother and father on Instagram showing that family remained important to her even as her star rose. This grounding influence may have helped her navigate the often treacherous waters of sudden fame. By early 2024, Mia had built an empire that many aspiring influencers could only dream of. Over 1 million Instagram followers, successful music releases, brand partnerships, and a distinctive voice in both social media and music. She had transformed from a high school freshman with a clever Instagram handle to a recognized name in entertainment. "Just know that Petty Levels will not just be an Instagram name," she said prophetically in that 2019 interview. "Sooner or later, it will be on billboards, it will be on your playlists, it will be on the radio, it will be everywhere you go." Little did she know how tragically limited her time to achieve those dreams would be. The timeline leading to Mia Bennett's final Instagram post begins approximately 2 weeks before her death. On July 5, 2024, she posted a series of photos from a recording studio in Philadelphia, suggesting she was working on new music. The caption read, "Cooking up something special for y'all, summer anthem loading." Her followers responded with enthusiasm, eager to hear what was coming next. 3 days later, on July 8th, Mia shared a video of herself boarding a flight. The geotag indicated she was at Philadelphia International Airport, but she didn't specify her destination. In her Instagram stories that day, she posted a cryptic message. "Sometimes you need to get away to find what you're looking for." This would be the first hint that something might have been weighing on her mind. By July 10th, Mia's location became clear when she posted photos from Tampa, Florida. She was staying at a luxury hotel overlooking Tampa Bay, and her posts showed her enjoying poolside cocktails and watching the sunset. Nothing in these images suggested distress. Quite the opposite. She appeared relaxed and content, writing, "Tampa vibes got me feeling alive." What brought Mia to Tampa remains unclear. No scheduled performances were announced on her social media, and no music collaborators from the area were tagged in her posts. Some followers speculated she might have been meeting with a record label, while others thought it could have been simply a vacation. The purpose of her trip remains one of the many mysteries surrounding her final days. On July 12th, Mia posted a photo of herself at a Tampa nightclub with a small group of people. None were tagged, and she didn't identify them in her caption, which simply read, "Nights we won't forget." This would be the last time other people appeared in her social media content. For the next few days, Mia's posting became sporadic, unusual for someone who typically shared content daily. On July 14th, she posted a single photo of the Tampa skyline at night, with no caption. On July 15th, her Instagram remained silent. Then, on July 16th, she returned to social media with a selfie, taken in what appeared to be her hotel room. The caption was unusually reflective, looking back at everything I've built, grateful for the journey. This post generated significant engagement, with many followers commenting on her introspective tone. July 17th marked Mia's final Instagram post. The one captioned simply, "Fleeting." The post contained 4 photos, one showing her in a white dress standing on a balcony overlooking Tampa Bay, another of her smiling while holding a glass of wine, a third showing a sunset over the water, and a final close-up of her face with an expression that many followers later described as peaceful or resigned. The word fleeting struck many as an odd choice. It means lasting, for a very short time, transient, ephemeral. Was she referring to her time in Tampa, the sunset, her career, her life? In retrospect, the word takes on an almost prophetic quality, but at the time, it didn't raise alarms among her followers, who simply commented on how beautiful she looked, or asked when she'd be returning to Philadelphia. Exercising as if slowly, Percy describes how this one word, after this post, Mia's digital footprint goes cold. No more Instagram stories, no TikTok videos, no tweets. The 24 hours between her final post and her death remain largely unaccounted for in the public record. What we do know comes from limited reports. According to hotel staff who later spoke to local news, Mia checked out of her hotel on the morning of July 18th. A rideshare driver reported picking up a woman matching Mia's description from the hotel and dropping her off near Tampa International Airport around 11 a.m. that day. However, there are no confirmed flight bookings in her name leaving Tampa. The area where her body was discovered the following day is approximately half a mile from the airport, a somewhat isolated spot near a service road. How she ended up there, why she was in that specific location, and what happened during those final hours remain questions that investigators have yet to answer publicly. What do you think fleeting meant? Was it a coincidence, a reflection on life's temporary nature, or something more deliberate? Tell us your theory in the comments below. Your perspective might shed light on this puzzling case that continues to baffle both fans and authorities alike. The morning of July 19th, 2024, began like any other summer day in Tampa. The Florida heat was already building by 7:30 a.m. when an airport maintenance worker made a shocking discovery while inspecting a drainage area near a service road approximately half a mile from Tampa International Airport's main terminal. The worker initially thought he'd found someone sleeping. He called out, received no response, and approached cautiously. What he found instead was the body of a young woman lying on her side, as if she had simply laid down to rest. There were no visible injuries, no signs of a struggle, and nothing to immediately suggest how she had died. The worker immediately called 911, and as Tampa Police Department officers arrived within minutes, securing the scene with yellow crime scene tape that fluttered in the morning breeze. Detective Maria Sanchez, who would later become the lead investigator on the case, arrived shortly after the first responders. "We responded to a call about an unresponsive female near the airport," the Tampa Police Department stated in their initial press release. Upon arrival, officers confirmed the individual was deceased. The body had no identification on it, no purse, no wallet, no phone. However, the distinctive tattoos, including a small crown on her right wrist and the words "Levels Up" across her collarbone, would soon help authorities identify her as Mia Bennett, known to her million-plus followers as Petty Levels. By mid-afternoon, after her fingerprints were processed through the system, her identity was confirmed. The news broke first on local Tampa stations before spreading like wildfire across social media platforms where Mia had built her fame. The initial police statement was notably sparse on details. The deceased has been identified as Mia Bennett, 23, of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The cause and manner of death are pending investigation by the Hillsborough County Medical Examiner's Office. At this time, there are no obvious signs of foul play. This last sentence, "no obvious signs of foul play," would become the focus of intense speculation in the days that followed. What exactly did that mean? No violence? No drugs? No suicide note? The police offered no clarification, citing the ongoing investigation. The medical examiner's office took custody of Mia's body that afternoon. Standard protocol in such cases includes toxicology screening, which typically takes weeks to complete. The preliminary autopsy, according to sources close to the investigation, revealed no immediate cause of death, no traumatic injuries, no obvious signs of drug overdose, no indications of a medical event like a heart attack or stroke. As news of Mia's death spread, her family in Philadelphia was thrust into both grief and the harsh spotlight of public attention. Her mother, Tanya Bennett, issued a brief statement through a family attorney. "We are devastated by the loss of our beautiful daughter, Mia. She was a bright light in our lives and in the lives of many others. We ask for privacy during this unimaginably difficult time as we grieve and await answers about what happened to our child." The family's plea for privacy went largely unheeded as fans, followers, and media outlets clamored for information. Within hours of the news breaking, Mia's Instagram following swelled by another 200,000 people, a macabre testament to how death often amplifies celebrity. In the information vacuum that followed, rumors flourished. Social media became a breeding ground for speculation, with amateur sleuths picking apart Mia's final posts for clues. Some claimed she had been murdered by a jealous ex-boyfriend, despite no evidence supporting this theory. Others suggested she had taken her own life, pointing to the fleeting caption as evidence of suicidal ideation. Still others proposed wild conspiracy theories involving the music industry, drug cartels, or human trafficking. These rumors were fueled by the unusual circumstances. Why was she alone near an airport? If she was planning to fly somewhere, why wasn't she inside the terminal? If she wasn't planning to fly, what brought her to that specific location? And perhaps most puzzling, where were her belongings? Tampa Police Department faced mounting pressure to provide answers. Detective Sanchez made a rare public statement 1 week after the discovery. "We understand the public interest in Ms. Bennett's case, but we must conduct a thorough investigation based on evidence, not speculation. We are actively pursuing all leads and awaiting critical laboratory results." The investigation faced several significant challenges. First, the location where Mia was found had no surveillance cameras. The nearest security footage came from the airport's perimeter, approximately a quarter-mile away. Second, without her phone, which has not been recovered, investigators couldn't easily trace her movements in the hours before her death. Third, the intense Florida heat accelerated decomposition, potentially compromising certain forensic evidence. Investigators interviewed hotel staff, rideshare drivers, and airport personnel. They obtained Mia's hotel room records and searched the room itself, though she had already checked out the day before her body was discovered. According to sources familiar with the investigation, nothing unusual was found in the hotel room. The rideshare driver who reportedly took Mia to the airport area on July 18th was interviewed multiple times. He maintained that he dropped her off at the departures level of the main terminal, not near the service road where she was found. GPS records from the rideshare app confirmed the drop-off location at the terminal, creating another puzzling question. How and why did Mia travel from the main terminal to the isolated area where her body was discovered? As of today, nearly a year after her death, the investigation remains active but frustratingly inconclusive. The Hillsborough County Medical Examiner's Office has listed the cause and manner of death as pending while awaiting toxicology results. Tampa police continue to interview potential witnesses and analyze what limited evidence they have. Mia's phone remains missing, a critical piece of evidence that could potentially answer many questions about her final hours. Investigators have obtained her phone records, which show her last outgoing call was to a Philadelphia number associated with her mother at 9:17 p.m. on July 17th, shortly after her final Instagram post. The call lasted just under 2 minutes. What was discussed in that conversation has not been made public. For now, the circumstances surrounding the death of one of social media's rising stars remain as cryptic as her final one-word caption, fleeting. As days pass without definitive answers in Mia Bennett's case, theories continue to multiply. Each possibility seems to address some aspects of her death while leaving others unexplained. Let's examine the most plausible explanations, the questions they raise, and the mysteries that persist regardless of which theory you believe. The first and perhaps most straightforward possibility is accidental death. Could Mia have taken medication or substances that resulted in an unexpected reaction? This might explain the lack of obvious trauma and the "no signs of foul play" statement from police. However, this theory doesn't address why she would be in that specific location near the airport service road, far from pedestrian areas. If she was impaired, how did she navigate to such an isolated spot? And where are her belongings? Particularly her phone, which was practically an extension of her as a social media personality. A second theory involves she taking her own life. Supporters of this explanation point to her final Instagram caption, "fleeting," as potential evidence of her state of mind. They also note her unusually reflective post the day before, where she wrote about "looking back at everything I've built," yet nothing in her social media history suggested her intentions to take her own life. Friends who have spoken publicly insist she was excited about upcoming projects. Moreover, no note was found and the location seems oddly random for someone making such a deliberate choice. The third major theory involves foul play, despite police statements to the contrary. Advocates of this theory question whether someone could have harmed Mia in a way that left no obvious marks, perhaps through poisoning or asphyxiation that didn't leave visible signs. They ask, who might have benefited from her death? Did she have enemies? Was she involved in relationships or business dealings that turned dangerous? The absence of her belongings fuels this theory, as does the isolated location where she was found. But the most persistent questions revolve around Tampa itself. Why was Mia there? Her social media offered no clear explanation for the trip. No performances were scheduled. No music collaborators from the area were mentioned. Some fans have speculated she was meeting with a record label, but no such meetings have been confirmed by industry sources. The airport location raises even more questions. If she was planning to leave Tampa, why wasn't she inside the terminal? The rideshare driver confirmed dropping her at the main terminal entrance, yet her body was found half a mile away near a service road. Did she walk there intentionally? Was she meeting someone? Or did something happen at the terminal that caused her to leave the public area? Connections to music industry pressures cannot be ignored when examining this case. Mia was at a critical juncture in her career, transitioning from social media personality to serious recording artist. This path is notoriously difficult, filled with pressure, exploitation, and disappointment. Industry insiders have hinted that Mia was negotiating a new record deal that would have significantly elevated her music career. Did these negotiations bring her to Tampa? Did they go poorly? Was she facing career setbacks that the public didn't know about? Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of this case involves the hidden toll of social media fame. Behind Mia's carefully curated online presence, the adventures, the glamour, the success, lay the reality of constant scrutiny. Former friends have suggested that Mia struggled with the disconnect between her online persona and her real life. One childhood friend told a Philadelphia newspaper she felt trapped sometimes, like she had to keep being petty levels, even when she just wanted to be Mia. This pressure to maintain a perfect online image while dealing with real-life challenges affects many influencers. The constant demand for content, the fluctuating income, the fickle nature of fame, all take a psychological toll that followers rarely see. Was Mia experiencing this disconnect more acutely in her final days? As the investigation continues, key questions remain unanswered. 1. What happened during the approximately 20 hours between her last known sighting at the airport terminal and the discovery of her body? 2. Where is her phone, and what might its contents reveal about her final hours? 3. Who did she communicate with in the days leading up to her death? 4. What was discussed in her final 2-minute phone call with her mother? 5. Did she travel to Tampa alone, or was she meeting someone there? 6. If she checked out of her hotel, intending to leave Tampa, where was her luggage? 7. What will the toxicology report reveal about her physical state at the time of death? These questions hang over the case like storm clouds, promising answers but delivering only more mystery. For now, the truth about what happened to Mia Bennett remains as elusive as the meaning behind her final word. Fleeting. Within hours of the news breaking, Mia's Instagram posts flooded with thousands of heartbroken comments. Fans created tribute videos compiling her most memorable moments, while musicians like Fredo Bang and Lotto posted black squares with broken heart emojis. Her music streams jumped 500% overnight, a bittersweet testament to how death often amplifies an artist's reach. Malibu and Ain't It climbed streaming charts as new listeners discovered her work. Music critics noted the painful irony. The career breakthrough she worked toward finally arrived, but she wasn't here to see it. Mia's story exposes the harsh reality behind influencer culture, the gap between curated perfection and messy truth. While she posted tropical vacations and studio sessions, we'll never know what struggles played out behind the camera. Her journey from Philly teenager to social media star to aspiring musician reveals how quickly modern fame can come and how suddenly it can vanish. Could anyone have prevented this outcome? Without knowing exactly what happened, it's impossible to say. But her case reminds us that even those with 1 million followers can feel profoundly alone. If this story affected you, subscribe to our channel for more cases that need attention. Because as Mia's final word reminds us, life, fame, and opportunity are all too fleeting.